going to continue our team coverage of this trending news with BNL Network. Roxanne Williams.
Good evening, America. We are coming on the air with an extended special report on a tragedy that no parent, no grandparent, no human being should ever have to live through. Saturday night, November 29th, 2025. Just before 6 p.m. Pacific Time, a children's birthday party in Stockton, California turned into an absolute slaughter. The location was a modest banquet hall on the 1900 block of Lucille Avenue, directly behind a Dairy Queen in North Stockton. Between 100 and 150 people, mostly extended families celebrating what witnesses describe as a 2-year-old girl's birthday, filled the room with laughter, balloons, and the smell of sheet cake. Kids in party dresses and tiny suits chased each other between the tables. A large chocolate cake sat half-sliced under colorful frosting. Someone had a phone out live streaming the joy for relatives back home. A playlist of hip-hop and Disney songs played softly in the background. Then, at precisely 5:43 p.m., the doors opened and multiple gunmen in dark hoodies walked in and began shooting. The gunfire lasted almost a full minute, rapid, sustained bursts that witnesses described as back and forth, like a war zone. Dozens of rounds from 9mm and .40 caliber handguns tore through the hall. Bullets punched holes in the walls, shattered windows, and one even lodged in the Dairy Queen's ice cream freezer next door. When the echoes finally stopped, 4 people lay dead or dying. An 8-year-old girl, a 9-year-old boy, 14-year-old Amari Peterson, and a 21-year-old adult who had shown up early to help set up folding chairs. At least 11 others were wounded, some as young as 6. Several still fighting for their lives as surgeons worked past dawn at St. Joseph's Medical Center and Sutter Memorial. San Joaquin County Sheriff Patrick Withrow held a midnight press conference and said, voice shaking with rage, "This appears to be a targeted gang-motivated attack. These cowards walked into a children's birthday party and started shooting. There is no place in hell hot enough for them." As of this broadcast, no one connected to the actual shooting is in custody. A $25,000 reward from Mayor Christina Fugazi, plus an additional $5,000 from a Youth Peace Foundation now stands. Anyone with information is urged to call Stockton Crime Stoppers anonymously at 209-946-0600. Stockton had spent most of 2025 celebrating real progress. Homicides down 34%, until 60 seconds of gunfire erased months of hope in an instant. Imagine the scene through the eyes of the people who were actually there. A woman named Maria was cutting the birthday cake when the first bullets came through the wall behind her. She said the sheet cake literally exploded, frosting and blood mixing together on the white tablecloth. She dropped to the floor, pulled 2 toddlers under her body, and began praying out loud in Spanish, "Virgencita, no los niños, por favor no los niños." Another mother was live streaming the party on Instagram. 37 seconds of pure joy. Kids dancing, someone yelling, "Make some noise for the birthday girl." Then the first pop, pop, pop. The phone falls. All you hear for the next 20 seconds is screaming and one voice repeating over and over, "They shootin' the babies! They shootin' the babies!" 14-year-old Amari Peterson had posted a TikTok just 3 hours earlier showing him dancing in his bedroom with the caption, "Birthday party tonight, we're turning all the way up." His family's GoFundMe has now raised more than $68,000 from strangers who will never get to meet the boy who wanted to be a YouTuber and play for the Golden State Warriors. The 8-year-old girl and 9-year-old boy have not been publicly named at the request of their mothers, who are still sitting by hospital beds or planning funerals no parent should ever have to plan. Classmates have left crayon drawings and teddy bears outside the crime scene tape. One picture shows stick figure angels holding balloons with the words, "We miss you at recess." Sunday afternoon, more than 600 people gathered at Victory Park for a candlelight vigil. White balloons were released into the gray sky, one for each child murdered. A 10-year-old girl stepped to the microphone and said, "I was supposed to go to that party, but my mom said no because I had homework. I'm mad at my homework now." The entire park broke down in tears. Even the Dairy Queen next door reopened Monday morning and gave out free ice cream to every child who showed up with a parent. The owner told reporters, "Those monsters don't get to take joy from our kids. Not today." Barbershops offered free haircuts to any child who lost a friend. Taquerias handed out hundreds of free meals to first responders working 20-hour shifts. Teenagers stood guard outside the crime scene all night holding hand-lettered signs that read, "No retaliation. We choose life." This is Stockton's story too. Not just the horror, but the love rising in the middle of it. Stockton sits in California's Central Valley, population roughly 320,000, 45 miles south of Sacramento. It once made national headlines for filing the largest municipal bankruptcy in U.S. history. Poverty hovers around 20%. Gang sets, Asian boys, Tiny Rascal Gang, various Crip and Norteño factions have fought over these streets for generations. In 2020, a federal state task force called Operation Kryptonite arrested 34 validated gang members, seized 38 firearms, kilos of narcotics, and $500,000 in cash. Prosecutors called it a major blow. Within 18 months, the vacuum had been filled by younger recruits willing to pull triggers. California has some of the strictest gun laws in the country: universal background checks, 10-day waiting periods, red flag laws, magazine limits, and assault weapon ban. And yet ghost guns, polymer 80 kits, and handguns trafficked in from Nevada and Arizona still pour into the Central Valley. The violence here is almost never the random active shooter scenario you see on cable news. It is personal, territorial, gang soldiers settling scores, and far too often, innocent children end up in the crossfire. Governor Gavin Newsom called the shooting horrific and pledged full state resources. Senator Alex Padilla renewed calls for federal gun safety legislation. Local leaders were blunter. Mayor Christina Fugazi told reporters Sunday afternoon, "If you're more worried about your talking points than catching these animals, stay the hell out of my city." Right now, the only thing that matters to the mothers planning funerals this week is that the people who murdered their babies are still walking free. We end tonight not with statistics, but with names and faces. Amari Peterson, 14 years old, loved basketball, wanted to be a YouTuber, danced like nobody was watching. The 8-year-old girl who loved Paw Patrol and couldn't wait to be a big sister. The 9-year-old boy who had just made the honor roll and was counting the days until his own birthday next month. The 21-year-old adult who showed up early to set up folding chairs because that's what big cousins do. 4 birthdays that will never happen again. 4 empty seats at Christmas dinner. 4 mothers who will hear those gunshots every single night for the rest of their lives. But Stockton also showed the world what resilience looks like. Free haircuts, free meals, teenagers choosing life over revenge, a Dairy Queen refusing to let monsters steal joy. If you have cell phone video from that night, if you saw the shooters arrive or leave, if you know who walked into that hall with guns in their waistbands, pick up the phone right now. 209-946-0600. You can remain anonymous. You can save the next birthday party. Hold your babies a little tighter tonight. Tell them you love them out loud. And tomorrow we get up and we fight like hell so no other parent ever has to choose between cake and coffins. Rest in peace, beautiful babies. The rest of us have work to do. This has been an extended special report on the Stockton Children's Birthday Party Massacre. We will not stop covering the story until justice is served. Good night, and God bless Stockton.